We have located Mr. Duane Bang Ludwig, the head coach for one TJ Dillashaw. He's joining us on the phone right now. Duane, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good to have you on the program again, Duane. I'm wondering, did you watch the fight again? Have you watched it on television since you got back home to Colorado?
Haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna sit down when TJ gets back tonight and watch it with him, and then just make some notes and see what we can improve on.
Is there a reason why you haven't watched it yet? Like, is it too fresh? You strike me as the kind of guy, because you watch so much tape. I wouldn't have been surprised if you said you've watched it 10 times since Sunday night. Is there a reason for that?
Just sitting back and just going off of memory and just kind of cooling off. It's been stuck in the brain so much the last couple of months. Just kind of wait to watch with TJ and see what we can pick up on.
Okay, so when you were watching it, and I know you're looking for different things, you're not sitting there like a judge, but when you were watching it, how did you score it? Like, who did you think won the fight?
I gave the first round to TJ, rounds 2 and 3 to Cruz because of the takedowns and the wrestling, and then the championship rounds 4 and 5 to TJ. So I had a 3 rounds to 2 for TJ. I felt we won the fight.
Were you confident? Like, did you think this was a no-brainer, or in the back of your mind were you thinking like, oh man, maybe we could have done a little more? Judges these days, they're so unpredictable. How were you feeling before they announced the scorecard?
I don't ever fucking trust the judges, Yeah. I mean, as we shouldn't. I honestly felt we were able to stop Cruz in the second round, not to be boastful, whatever, but I just from watching and studying the film and working on what we were working on, I thought we were going to stop Cruz in the second. He proved to be a bit more tricky with his timing and his footwork than I anticipated, which made things a bit harder. But I still feel we won the fight, and I think with the fight being so close, an immediate rematch is justified.
Yeah, I wasn't there at the time, but was that you who got on the mic and asked Dana White for that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what do you think of his response?
It wasn't much of a response.
Yeah.
Like, I'll let you know. I'm like, well, from last I heard, you were pretty high ranking up in the company.
Yeah, I like the way you preface that.
Here, Mr. White.
Yeah, I like the way you preface that. Without a doubt. Do you think they'll do it? Are you confident? Like, are you hearing anything after the fact that that's the direction they'll go in?
I haven't heard anything yet. I'm still waiting. TJ and I text back and forth. Like I said, he'll be in tonight, and we'll sit down, we'll talk, and we'll watch the fight and see which direction we want to go. But from last time when we talked, in person, it was a rematch is justified, and I'd definitely like to have that. It was a close fight. It wasn't like either guy dominated the fight, but again, I still feel we won 3 rounds to 2. And just one of those things, the fucking judges, man, I think they need to be a bit more educated before they take a professional career in judging the lives and the decisions of a professional athlete. These guys should be able to, or should have to train. That should be a fucking mandatory thing. That maybe they earn a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. They train Thai boxing for a year, 2 years. Maybe possibly they even compete. Some kind of actual training for them.
Yeah, I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. What about, this has become a hot topic, especially after 195 and this fight. What's your take on the 10-point must system? Would you like to see that changed?
I would like to see that, overhauled for sure. Have it looked at with today's modern information. The sport is different. We're not a boxing match, obviously.
Right.
And we need to score accordingly. And I think the guys, the judges are, they have the information to make sure they're according to the damage, obviously the takedowns, the cage control, the octagon control itself, and those are 2 different things to me. As far as someone taking the center and keeping the guy on the outside of the cage, kind of running from him, would be octagon control versus cage control, where you're actually controlling the guy against the cage. I look at those things as 2 different aspects. Of course, the wrestling, we did was it 4 takedowns to 1, so
yeah,
him getting 3 takedowns, I don't see that winning the fight. But, he was tricky to hit, man. A respect to Cruz in the camp for what they were doing. They survived 5 rounds with TJ, which is a very rare thing. That hasn't happened yet.
So Dominick, leading up to the fight, was adamant that this idea of cage rust, it does not exist. And I think I didn't believe him leading up. I thought, it's a pretty obvious thing. It's a natural thing. You don't do something for a long time, you're going to be a little rusty. In the fight, he seemed like he had just fought, a couple of months ago. Were you surprised at, how smooth he was out there, the performance that he put on, considering the layoff?
Yeah, he looked good. He was tricky for sure. It was not an easy fight for us. and he looked good. But just like you said though, if you stop doing something for a while, you are less in tune with that, whatever it is. So, I mean, that is a fact. It's not like ring rust. That definitely is an aspect for sure. But he obviously trained properly and did enough sparring rounds and had a longer camp than usual, and it paid off for him. But I still feel TJ won the freaking fight.
According to Fight Metric, as far as significant strikes are concerned, what's that?
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
No, I'm asking you. So Dominick, it says that he landed 112 and threw 302 significant strikes, and TJ landed 109 and threw 408. So that's a percentage of 26% to 37%. Were you surprised? Yeah. I mean, the output doesn't surprise me.
No, it's not surprising. We purposely throw strikes to get people out of position, out of balance, to create other openings. We're purposely missing strikes. So
what do you mean by that?
Numbers. Well, this goes back to, we did an interview years ago, and then I gave you the jiu-jitsu analogy where if you're in the guy's guard and you reach for his throat, he mainly does one or two things. He either tries to break posture or he goes for the armbar. Well, if he goes for the armbar, you can pull out the pass, anticipating the armbar. Well, with that in mind, let's say I'm gonna shoot a double leg for you, but I'm just gonna shoot it halfway just to get you to respond to the defense, so I can set something else up. Same thing with scenario for strikes. I throw a jab, not purposely to hit you, but to get you to slip or defend that, so it creates other openings. So we're not always trying to actually hit these shots.
Interesting.
Or these strikes.
So do you feel like he was being penalized for something that you were actually trying to do on purpose?
They weren't being penalized at all, but we are actually trying to miss these shots to create other openings. So it's not. Not every shot. We definitely miss some shots we're trying to hit him with.
Yeah.
But some of the shots we're throwing to create other openings. Just like if I punch you in the head, you're going to do defending of the head, and then what's open, the body or the legs. So and vice versa.
Overall, as his coach, as his head man, was that the game plan? What we saw from TJ on Sunday night, did he execute it the way you wanted him to?
He executed a lot of things that we worked on, and I was happy with his performance for sure. And there's always room for improvement. You can look back at things and always want to redo things and do them better. And that goes for our wins, our previous wins as well. Always look back at those and look for things to improve on. That's the goal. It's not always to just beat the opponent, but to also always improve, regardless of who the opponent is. Because our main opponent is ourselves. So I want to make sure that myself as a coach and instructor I'm always improving, and same thing with TJ. I always make sure he's always improving.
Obviously, easier said than done. But it seemed like he had success when he was attacking the leg. In hindsight, do you wish he did that more?
That would have been good to attack the legs more, for sure.
You would have liked that?
That would have been a good idea, for sure.
Was that a part of the game plan going in and the openings weren't there, or was that something that you guys saw later on that he was being effective?
Well, we worked that in camp quite a bit to attack the legs, but then again, Cruz proved to be a bit tricky. So it's not like it was an easy task.
Was Cruz better than you thought he would be?
He's just trickier. He was a bit trickier than I expected as far as there's a couple of things to this that I don't really want to say too much on, but I thought TJ did really well. Cruz did very good as well, and he proved to be a bit trickier than I expected. His angles and the distance that he was covering backing up was a bit longer and further than I remember watching in the previous films.
Much was made of the fact going into this one that TJ had never been taken down, 100% takedown defense in the UFC. Mentally, what do you think that did for him? The first couple and in total was 4. Do you think, and you can make a strong case that nothing really happened once he was down, that those were just kind of, bumps in the road. But mentally, do you think that shook him up at all?
I don't know if that shook him up. I know, we did get frustrated a little bit during the fight, and the takedowns could have been a part of that. Again, I'm waiting to sit with TJ tonight and make some notes and talk and to see where our head is at now and where it was in the fight now that we had a day or two to process what went on.
Yeah.
Because and then we'll look back at this fight a month from now and then have a different set of notes as well. It's just always good to just make notes and keep reanalyzing and always improving. But for me getting taken down, I don't want to get taken down unless that is the game plan, to get taken down to get him tired.
Right.
But there's always game plans, and they're just like Frank Shamrock when he fought Tito Ortiz. He was letting him take him down just so he could get tired.
Was this part of the game plan?
No, I would rather TJ not get taken down.
Okay.
That wasn't part of the game plan to get taken down, no. But, it's not like TJ was giving up takedowns. Just Cruz has really good timing. I mean, I think technically he's horrible, but he has the timing, and that's what it's about, timing and accuracy. But then again, still TJ won the fight. I think he had excellent timing, landed the cleaner shots, and kept good position, and was technically superior. But it's one of those things, you get a couple takedowns, and these judges think they win the whole round for that.
When you say technically he's horrible, is that as far as his takedowns are concerned or his stand-up?
No, just the striking in general. He's just all over the place. But that, when it's a fight, that doesn't really count. It's about hitting, not getting hit, and that's what he does good at, and that's also what TJ does really good at. So it's just, it's like looking at boxing matches. You go to a boxing gym, they say your hands up, elbows in, but then you watch a boxing match, and their hands are all over the place.
Right.
So just about finding that natural fluidity and the natural intuition, and just flowing off of that.
Any serious?
Sorry, I talk fast as hell.
No, I appreciate it. Any serious injuries for TJ following this?
No, sir.
So
I don't think so.
In a perfect world, when would you like for him to come back?
Again, I'd like to talk with him tonight and see where we're at with things. I'm pretty sure he's healthy, and take a month off.
Yeah.
Not train as hard, just kind of sit back, and then get back to always improving. Is making sure we're focused on what we control, and that's us getting better each and every day.
You know TJ better than most people in this world. Now in hindsight, all the talk from Cruz, all the drama with Faber, did any of that seep in there? Was that bothering him? Do you feel like that kind of threw him off a little bit?
Going to all our previous fights, we had everybody on our side. We had a good fan base, and it was nice. And then, Faber comes out and acts and says stupid shit and just spills a bunch of lies. And I don't think that helped at all. And then, of course, with Conor saying, the whole thing on the Ultimate Fighter. But what people don't understand is I was the guy who was staying up late, holding pads, doing all these things to make sure TJ is always improving. And in my eyes, I don't think Faber ever did much for TJ. But so as far as if you want to put on a loyalty stamp, I felt I've done a lot more than Faber has, that's for sure.
So yes, sir. Go ahead, sorry.
So, but I don't think, I'm always going to back TJ's decision, and he's gotten a lot better under my guidance and the coach out here in Colorado than he ever did in Sacramento, other than under my guidance. So as far as loyalty, what's loyalty? It's him making sure he's always improving and doing what's important for him, not making sure he's doing what's important to put for other people. As in the sports, you got to do what's best for you, and what's best for him is to have high-level coaches making sure he's improving each and every day. And that's here in Colorado. That is not in Sacramento. So it depends on what you want to put that loyalty stamp on.
And, hearing the boos and all that, I was there and I was a little bit surprised.
I didn't even hear them.
You didn't hear them. But what about the weigh-ins, all that? That didn't bother him at all?
We didn't talk about it.
Okay.
But then again, it's one of those things, going up into all our previous fights, we've had a ton of support. This is the first time we've had, boos and a lot of negative stuff in the media. So he never said it bothered him. I don't think it did, but then again, it's something lopsided we have always had. We've always had a ton of support. Now we have 50-50 haters and supporters.
Sure.
But that's just part of the game. It's we're in the entertainment field. We're not in the martial art business. It's a bunch of entertainers and just talking crap sells tickets. And maybe we got to do more of that and just realize we're not always going to have friends. We're going to have it's going to be a 50-50 split for the most part, and just have to come accustomed to that. And that's something I'm talking to myself too, because I always want to make sure I'm helping people and, leading by example and doing the right thing. But, just being quiet and humble is not nice. It's not always the right thing to do, because you got to learn and teach people to speak up and to say what's right. And if someone's spilling lies and talking shit, then you got to, put out the truth, and the truth's going to come out here soon.
So considering all of that, would you almost prefer that he fight Faber next and end this as opposed to fighting for the belt next?
I don't know if that would end it or where it's at. One stupid ass thing that Faber said was that if he trained with Faber, because Faber fought him twice, he would have done better. I'm not quite sure exactly. Do you know what he said? He said, from what I understand, he said he would have done better if he trained with Faber. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I used to run classes, and nobody wanted to train with Faber because he couldn't even hold the freaking combinations or had any insight on actual coachability. So he just says just stupid shit. But, I think Faber's calling that fight just because he wants to have another money payday. I mean, he barely survived his last fight against, a tough tournament. He wants to fight, one of the number one fighters in the world. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's just a payday call is all it is. He just wants attention. And I get it. It's all about money. He's at the end of his career. He wants another, payday fight so he can, I don't know if he wants to step away soon or what it is, but from what I understand, he probably should step away soon. It's not good to get hit in the head that much. It's not good for your brain.
Final quick thing. I saw Benavidez was there. Palmer was there. Are you hoping that any of the other guys come to Colorado from Alpha Male to train with you full time?
And, it's like the scenario with TJ initially. I didn't think, he had to move out here, but training out here and making sure that bridge is here to help each other out. And I just want to make sure these guys are, what's best for them is making sure they have coaches watching them. So my door is always open to most of them, not to Faber, but to everybody else it is. I want to help them, and it's fun for me. I genuinely love and care for these guys. I always want them to improve. So it's always there, but not full time. I'm not drawing the line where they have to train there or here. I don't have a fight team. I have my martial art academy, and the guys come. I put my all into them, and that's just the way it is. And I'm not going to draw the line where they have to go here or there. If they come here, I'm going to give them my full attention and make sure we're doing what I feel is best for them.
Fair enough.
Or what we feel is best for them,
right? Yeah. Duane, I appreciate the time very much. Thank you. Good to see you over the weekend. Congrats on a great performance. Super close. And for your sake, hopefully you guys get what you want next.
I don't know. So let me ask you, how did you score it?
I had it 1, 2, and 3 for Dominic, 4 and 5 for TJ. But I mean,
Gotcha.
Super close. But that's how I had it. Yep.
Yep. Close fight for sure.
Super close. Enjoyed it greatly.
Yeah.
And I thought both guys, don't take anything away from them. Fantastic fight.
Indeed. Good, man. Thank you, sir.
you.
Appreciate it, my friend.
All right, there he is, Bang Ludwig, head coach for one TJ Dillashaw.